they keep playing with their lives.
I'm a DACA recipient from Texas.
But I actually think there's some good discussions going on.
Everything's going to work out for you. You'll be very happy.
Hopeful we can find something on Border Security DREAM Act at the minimum.
Yeah, thanks for working hard.
And,
Well,
I know
you've
you
been
get,
so
you
brave.
get to make
You've
choices.
been so brave.
I hope we get it fixed.
Okay.
We know that at Capitol Hill, there's always like this 24 hours news cycle. So things change so fast that sometimes nobody's talking about that, nobody's talking about us. So we're here to, in a way, be like remind them that this is not going away.
I started driving a 15-passenger van all the way from Arizona to here to Washington D.C. and we had one specific goal: to talk to senators and members of Congress directly and letting them know about that when they're thinking about these policies, when they're thinking about actually doing a solution for Dreamers, there are people behind this, people like me, people like many others who came along.
Well, it depends on whether you want a pathway to citizenship or not. That's the offer that's on the table.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you so much, sir. Have a good one.
A lot of times it's educating them how the policy would affect and how it would be implemented, because many of them don't have to deal with immigration because it's not a big issue. Traditionally, you have the Catholic bishops coming into Republican offices and speaking to them. You have evangelical groups doing the same. You have other organizations lobbying, but this time nobody was doing it. So that's what we came and filled in the gap.
I think that, honestly, I think an extension is a real cop-out by the Congress.
I
don't think
agree.
it makes sense. All it
I'm
does
gonna be
is
40
make you
by that time.
It makes you uncertain for 2 more years.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the way to do it.
I think at the beginning, they were a little bit more reserved. They would be like, "Oh, thank you for being here." Definitely, when you start asking them more tougher questions, or just telling them like, "Okay, what's your solution?" Like a lot of them were very taken aback that we wanted to have an actual conversation, and especially from like the Republican side, I think that they're expected to like just have all the demands being blurred out at them. But a lot of them at the beginning were saying, "Well, we want border security and we want the DREAM Act," and we were, "Okay, can you explain what you mean by border security?" Because every single office has its own interpretation of what that means. It is important to have those protests, to have that self-expression about what people think it's their demands. But on the other hand, it's like that's one moment, right? You come, you see it, and then what happens to the momentum?
Once that's over, you need to go into these offices and make sure that this is why I am screaming, this is why I'm chanting. Because this is so, in a way that they'll be receptive. You can't go into the offices and scream and yell at them and think they're gonna listen to you, because it doesn't work that way. If I go and scream at your office at your work, are you gonna listen to me? Not likely.
All right. All right. Okay. Stay strong. Yeah. All right. Chin up. Shoulders back. Right? Yeah. Right? Okay. We'll see you later.
One question.
It is really easy in these hallways to just become cynical about that sometimes they don't listen to you, you don't know exactly the real impact that you're having. But at the end of the day, you have to have hope. We don't have the luxury to just remain silent. It is about our lives, and I think that my hope is that as we've been able to see some senators start recognizing us.
In Spanish, they always say, "La esperanza se muere al último." Hope dies at last. So we always got to keep that hope up, because ultimately that's all we have.